You don't own anything anymore. And you probably didn't even notice when it happened. Your car, leased your house, right? Rented or mortgaged for 30 years to a bank that owns it more than you do. Your music, Spotify subscription, your software, Adobe Creative Cloud, monthly forever. Your movies, Netflix, Disney Plus, Prime, your phone, payment plan. Even your damn toothbrush has a subscription model now. You're making more money than your parents did at your age, but you own less, because ownership has been systematically replaced with access. And access costs you every single month forever, with nothing to show for it. Here's the math they don't want you to do. The average American pays $273 per month just in subscription services. That's not rent. That's not car payments. That's just the digital access fees. Add your rent, your car lease, your phone plan, your utilities, and suddenly you're paying $3,000 to $4,000 a month just to maintain access to a life you don't actually own. Stop paying, and it all vanishes. Miss 1 month of rent, you're evicted. Stop the car payment, they repo it. Cancel Spotify, your playlists disappear. You're not building anything. You're renting your entire existence from corporations that profit every single month from your inability to own. This isn't capitalism. This is something older. Something we thought we left behind in the Middle Ages. This is feudalism with a subscription model and better branding. And just like in feudalism, there's a landlord class that owns everything and a peasant class that pays rent forever. You're not a consumer, you're a serf. And the platform economy is your lord. But here's what they're not telling you. It's just like in the original feudal system, there's a way out. It doesn't require a revolution. It just requires you to stop playing the game. Let's go back to the year 1200, medieval Europe. The feudal system at its peak. Here's how it worked. The king owned all the land. Technically, the lords, the nobility, controlled massive estates granted by the king. And the serfs, which was about 90% of the population, owned absolutely nothing. Not the land they farmed, not the house they lived in, not even the tools they used. A serf woke up every morning on land that belonged to the lord. They worked that land, grew crops, raised animals, and in exchange for being allowed to exist on that land, they paid the lord. Not in money, but in labor, in crops, in goods. A third of everything they produced went to the lord, sometimes more. It never ended. You couldn't save up and buy your freedom. You couldn't work hard enough to own the land. If you were born a serf, you died a serf, and your children inherited your debt to the lord. The system was designed to be permanent. Now let's fast forward to 2025. You wake up in an apartment you don't own. You pay a landlord, a corporate property management firm, or a bank holding your mortgage. You drive to work in a car you're leasing. You use software you subscribe to, you listen to music you rent access to, you watch shows on platforms that can remove content whenever they want. At the end of the month, you've worked 40, 50, 60 hours. A third of your income, sometimes half, goes to rent and subscription fees. Just like the serf's crops went to the lord. You can't opt out. Try living without a phone plan, without internet, without a car in most of America. You're functionally excluded from society. The platforms have become infrastructure, and infrastructure isn't optional. The companies that own these platforms, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Spotify, Netflix, your landlord's investment fund, they're the new lords. They own the assets. They control access. And you pay rent forever for the privilege of using what they own. Medieval serfs at least had the excuse that there was no alternative. Land was scarce. Wealth was hereditary. Mobility was impossible. But you live in an era of abundance. Technology has made production cheaper than ever. Information is free. And yet somehow you own less than a feudal peasant. Because the feudal peasant, at least, had a small plot they could grow vegetables on. You have a subscription to a meal kit delivery service. The system hasn't changed. It's just been digitized, gamified, and rebranded as convenience. But the structure is identical. A small class owns the assets. The majority rents access. The rent never stops. So what does the system tell you to do when you realize you're trapped? Buy a house, great. except the average home now costs 7 to 10 times the median household income. You'll take a 30-year mortgage, pay twice the purchase price in interest, and spend 3 decades making payments to a bank. You don't own the house. The bank does. You're just renting it from the bank with an option to own it when you're 65, assuming you never miss a payment, never lose your job, and never need to move. Invest in assets. Sure, put your money in stocks, in index funds. Build wealth over time, except you're investing in the same companies that are extracting subscription fees from you every month. You're buying shares in your own exploitation, and if the market crashes, which it does every decade or so, you lose it all while the companies keep collecting their monthly fees. Cancel subscriptions, live frugally, save money. Fine, you cancel Netflix, you stop Spotify, you use free software, and you save what, $100 a month? Meanwhile, your rent goes up $200, your car insurance increases, your groceries cost more, inflation is running faster than your savings ever will. The system isn't designed to let you escape through frugality. It's designed to keep you subscribed. Every time you cut one cost, another one rises. Because the entire economic model depends on you never owning anything, never becoming independent, always needing access. And that access only exists as long as you keep paying. You're not building equity. You're not accumulating assets. You're treading water while the subscription fees slowly drain you. The real escape isn't optimization. It's exit. And the exit isn't digital. It's geographic. Central Portugal, specifically the inland regions. Barabaixa, Alente, small stone villages an hour from the coast where land is abundant. Prices are absurd, and nobody's trying to turn your life into a monthly payment plan. Here's what's possible right now in 2025, if you're willing to think differently. You can buy a small stone house, structurally sound, with thick walls and a tile roof, for 15,000 euros to 25,000 euros, not a down payment. The entire house. Cash purchase, no mortgage, no bank, 30 years of debt. You wire the money, you sign the papers, it's yours, completely, forever. Land, even cheaper. A hectare, about 2.5 acres in rural central Portugal, runs 3,000 euros to 8,000 euros. In Spain's interior, Extremadura or Castilla y León, even less. You're talking about the price of a used car for a piece of land you can live on, build on, grow food on, and pass down to your children. No landlord, no property management company, no subscription to shelter. Now let's talk about energy, because the subscription trap isn't just housing, it's utilities. Electricity bills that keep rising, gas heating you pay for every winter, dependence on a grid controlled by corporations that raise rates whenever they feel like it. Solar panels. A 3-kilowatt off-grid system, enough to power a small household, costs about 4,000 euros to 6,000 euros installed. You pay once. It lasts 25 years. After that, your electricity is free, not reduced. Free. No monthly bill. No rate hikes. No dependence. Add a wood stove for heating. Timber is cheap or free in rural areas if you have land. Quality cast iron stove costs 800 euros. Heating solved. No gas company. Subscription. Water? Drill a well. In Portugal, a basic well costs 2,000 euros to 3,000 euros. Or renovate an existing stone cistern that's already on the property. Rainwater harvesting is legal and common. No water bill. No municipal dependence. Let's add it up. House. 20,000 euros. Land. 5,000 euros. Solar system. 5 euros. Well, 2,500 euros. Wood stove. 800 euros. You're at 33,300 euros total. For complete ownership, no mortgage, no rent, no electric bill, no water bill, no gas bill. You could pay that in cash if you've been saving. Or you could work remotely for 6 months, save aggressively, and buy it outright. No bank involved, no debt. Just ownership and your monthly costs. Property tax in rural Portugal is maybe 100 euros per year. Internet, if you want it, is 25 euros a month. Food, if you grow some of your own and shop locally, 200 euros to 300 euros a month. You're living on 400 euros a month, and half of that is optional. Compare that to your current subscriptions. Your rent alone is probably $1,500 to $3,000 a month. Your streaming services, phone plan, software, utilities, car payment, easily another $1,000. You're spending $2,500 to $4,000 a month just to rent your existence. In Portugal, you're living on $400 and you own it all. This isn't poverty. This isn't deprivation. It's the opposite. It's subsistence through ownership. You're more time because you're not working 60 hours a week to cover rent. You have more security because nobody can evict you. You have more freedom because you're not locked into subscriptions. The people doing this right now aren't trust fund kids. They're former office workers who saved for a year, bought a ruin, renovated it slowly, and discovered that life outside the subscription economy is cheaper, quieter, and infinitely more stable. This is what real wealth looks like. Not a high income. It's not an investment portfolio. But owning the means of your own survival. Here's the reality. Subscription economy isn't going to collapse. It's going to expand. More things will become rentals. More assets will be turned into access fees. Ownership will become rarer and more expensive. And the longer you stay in the system, the harder it gets to leave. Every year, rents go up. Every year, subscription fees increase. Every year, the cost of ownership rises while your income stagnates, but the window is still open. Right now. Rural Europe still has cheap land. Stone houses still sell for less than a year's rent in most cities. Solar technology is mature and affordable. The infrastructure for remote work exists. You don't need permission. You don't need an employer's approval. You need savings, a plan, and the willingness to trade convenience for ownership. Start simple. Research properties in central Portugal, inland Spain, rural Greece. Look at listings. Real listings. See what 20,000 euros actually buys. Join expat forums. Talk to people who've done it. Learn what the real costs are, not the fantasy version. Then calculate your burn rate. How much are you spending every month on rent, subscriptions, payments? How long would it take you to save 30,000 euros if you cut aggressively? 6 months? A year? 2 years? That's your timeline. That's how long until you can own your life instead of renting it. The medieval serfs couldn't leave the manor. They were legally bound to the land. You're not. The only thing binding you is inertia and fear. Every month you stay is another month of rent paid to a landlord who's building wealth off your inability to own. Every subscription fee is a small tribute to the platform lords, or you could stop paying. Buy once, own forever. Your grandchildren won't ask why you left the subscription economy. They'll ask why you stayed so long. If this changes how you see ownership, subscribe. Building a guide for people who refuse to rent their lives forever. You don't need their permission. You just need to stop asking for it.